What up there, Mikey's crew? It's good friend Michael here. We're here to talk about the January 2021 pickups I got, and I'm sitting next to them right now. You might be able to see part of a stack here. That's PS2 games, and that's the only thing you can see. It is a very high stack of games, and I said for this month I was going to focus on NES games, and I did do a pretty good job at that. But I got quite a little bit of I got quite a lot of a little bit of everything. And I mean, I'm sure every person that said I'm focusing on a certain system for a month has, been went out to game stores and has maybe not found anything and then just decided, well, I'm just going to find some other games on my list here. And that's what I did. And that's what I've also done online. So a lot of these purchases did come online from other game stores as well. So, I mean, I found a lot of great stuff this month, and it all showed up in great condition. So I'm really happy about that. And now I'm ready to show them off. And I don't even know really where to begin, but I really do. So first off, what I'm going to show is video game stuff I picked up that is not games. So first thing is a Bowser Jr Plushie here that I got. This came from Double Jump Video Games, and when I went to order it, they were out, and I think I had ordered a couple other games, so they sent me those, and the next time that they got them in, I made sure to grab one right away, and I think I also might have grabbed some other stuff with it as well. Actually, when I actually ordered it with a controller, and so they sent me the controller. Next time they got it I got this with like a few games as well. So really happy to have that. I'm getting close to being pretty finished with my plushie collection, and let's just say I've gone pretty crazy with it. Probably just last year alone, I would say. It's grown pretty big. I've almost filled up. I'm looking at it right now. They're on top of my all my stacks of drawers where I have all my controllers, and I know someday, when other systems come out, I'll need to grow and expand that, and then at that point I could probably get maybe a few more plushies, but right now there's only a little bit left on the front row that needs to be filled. So the item I did order that they did send me they had in stock was a Spice Orange GameCube controller, and I've been looking for this for a while now. I recently got a purple controller as well, and I believe I'm still looking for, and I think I got a black one. So I think I'm only looking for a platinum controller now. I did have a platinum controller, and you're probably wondering, well, why did I get rid of it then? It just the joystick on it wasn't great. Like some of the rubber had recently come off, and so now I'm just looking for a good replacement one for that. And I was really surprised they still had the Spice Orange one because they showed it like off in a vlog. And usually GameCube controllers, especially any controllers nowadays, kind of just fly off of retro game store shelves immediately. And this one was like maybe available like a week after I had seen that vlog. So I'm really happy that was still there. All right, so I got some instruction manuals. These all came off of eBay. I got the Legend of Zelda Collector's Edition. This is for GameCube. This was the most expensive manual I purchased. Freedom Fighters for Xbox. That one actually came with a case, and so I sent a bunch of empty cases I got with these manuals out to Double Jump Video Games. They gave me a little bit of money on PayPal for that. So that one came with a case. Test Drive Eva Destruction also came with a case. This one I ordered by itself. This is Toe Jam and Earl Panic on Funkotron for Genesis. This is for PS2, Parappa the Rapper 2. That one also came with a case. Got Outrun 2 for Xbox. This showed up, and there was not the seller's fault, but it had been exposed to a little bit of rain, like there was a hole in the package. So there's a little water damage to it, but none of the pages are sticking together. So that's good. You can just kind of feel it, and you can feel where the water damage was. This one also came with a case, Destruction Derby Arenas. And then this was just by itself, Lego Racers 2. Both of those were for the PlayStation 2. So I always am trying to complete games I just have the disc and manual for. Every one of my disc games actually has its original case. I make sure of that. Also, DS games and 3DS games I also make sure those have their cases. I don't want loose copies of those games either. I'm trying to get to the point where I'm trying to get boxes for Nintendo and Super Nintendo and Game Boy games as well. But that's going to be a long process just because of the fact that those boxes definitely are more expensive to order. So I only try to do 1 or 2 of those per month. And then lastly, I got some strategy guides, 2 of them, and some Nintendo Power magazines. 2 of these Nintendo Power magazines, the last 2 I'm going to show you, came off of eBay. The rest of these I ordered from a store in Canada, and Retro Respawn. I don't know if that's the name of it or not, but I got a lot of magazines from them. They have a lot more too, so I know where I'll be going to get them instead of eBay necessarily. I'll be going to that store in Canada. So I got, this is issue 58, which has Wario Land on it, and then the next issue 59. This actually came from, I think, Retro Delio was the seller's name. So this comes from California. This has Ken Griffey Jr. on the cover. And then the rest of these that I'm going to show you now are from the store in Canada. This one has Super Mario on it, 64. Blast Core. This is, I should have said the issue. That was 95 and 85. And then the Ken Griffey one was 59. Issue 122, World Driver Championship. 157, which has Lost Kingdoms on the cover. And then these 2 come from eBay. This one has someone's address on it, so I'm going to cover it up. This one has Pokemon. I think it's Fire Red, Leaf Green on it. And then Paper Mario, The Thousand Year Door. And then these last 2 are also strategy guide. These are strategy guides, and these come from Retro Delio. And it's Crazy Taxi 2, one of my favorite games, and one of my favorite fighting games, Tekken 3. I don't happen to own a lot of fighting games. Most of them I like are the old Mortal Kombat games on Genesis and Street Fighter ones on Genesis and Super Nintendo. I think the only like fighting game I have that's 3D might be Tekken 3. I happened to play it like one time and I really liked it. I know I'm pretty sure I'd like all the other ones, but I have so many games in my collection, I don't know if I would ever really get to them. And fighting games really isn't a genre that I enjoy too much. I'm not great at them, but if there's like a game that I think has really good controls and good story with it, heck, I'll play it. All right, so now I'm going to get started into the video games here, and I think I'm just going to start with PS1 that's closest to me. And a lot of these ones weren't, fantastic pickups. And I tried to order these by what's, going from not the most fantastic to wow, that's a great pickup in it. So I got March Madness 98 for PS1. Nothing spectacular there, obviously. MLB 2000. And they're old sports games that I enjoyed when I was younger, and so that's why I'm getting them again. I'm trying to get all the Test Drive games, so I got Test Drive Off-Road. And then I've heard that this is probably the best Jet Moto game, so I figured I'd get this one, and that is Jet Moto 2. Love the Army Men games, so I got Army Men 3D. And then I'm also a big fan of the Medal of Honor games, and I did have this one, but it was the greatest hits. I wanted the Black Label version, so I got that. And I also wanted the Black Label version of this, and I found this over at Disc Traders in Battle Creek, and that is Crash Team Racing. There is a crack on the back of this cover, as you can see clearly there, and I am going to definitely get a replacement case for that at some point. And then this one also came from the store in Canada, and this was a game I've had trouble finding for a very long time since it's been on my list. And it used to be, I think, a $10 to $15 game, has risen to about $30 now. And I wanted to make sure I get it before it goes any higher, and that's Toy Story Racer. I love Toy Story, and I know that, everybody tries to copy Mario Kart, and not everybody does a great job with that, but I've heard this is a pretty decent game. If I had heard this was like a really crappy game and had it on my list, I probably would have taken it off. But I heard this is pretty fun, and like I said, love Toy Story, love Disney, love Pixar. I'm sure I'll enjoy it. Okay, now I'm going to go on to N64. Most of these ones are also not too great. Starting off, NHL Breakaway 98. If you see basically, unless I really say something, any sports game I show is probably one I played as a kid, and so that's why I'm getting this. NFL Quarterback Club 2000. This was one I actually got as a kid for Christmas one year, and I had it in the box too. But I did eventually, like I said, sell that one. This one's actually a replacement. The version Ken Griffey Jr. Major League Baseball, the one I had a rip on the label, so this was an upgrade. I found this one from Treasure Quest. World Driver Championship. This also came from Treasure Quest. And then these two came from Disc Traders over in Battle Creek, and they had really good prices on these ones, so I definitely had to pick these up. A Micro Machine 64, Turbo, and then Star Fox 64. So I did have a copy of this one, but it had some writing on it, and I couldn't get the writing off because it was directly on the label. So if I and it was written like in like some pen, and I think it would have ended up smudging the label and like destroying it. So I just sold that off and got another copy. So really happy to get that one again in the collection. All right, so now I'll talk about a couple of Super Nintendo games I got. One of these came from Second Chance. The other one came from Treasure Quest. And the first one here comes from Second Chance, Street Fighter 2 Turbo Edition. This is, like I said, one of the fighting games I do enjoy. I did play the Street Fighter 2 games as a kid. Probably some nostalgia there as well. And then I really like the Breakout games. So I got Arkanoid, Do It Again. That's actually what it is called, if you can see the name of it there. And I did want to get Arkanoid for NES, but the controller for that is like stupidly expensive. And when I say stupidly, it's like $80 for the controller. You can find the game for about like $15 or so. But I'm not going to buy a controller for like one game. So no way am I going to get that one, unfortunately. So I did get an alternate game, which you actually are going to see here in this pickups video. All right. Next, I will do GameCube, Wii, and Wii U. I got 2 games for each system this past month. The first one is Disney's PK Out of the Shadows. I've heard this is not a great game, but I do want to experience it, and you know, I love the Disney games as well, so we'll give it a try. The version I got actually had some sun fading on the side label, so I ordered a new label from eBay. When I say new label, I actually ordered a like empty case of it. Is what I ended up doing. So yeah, not like a printed label, because those do exist, and I don't want to have like a counterfeit, maybe not necessarily counterfeit, but people can pass it off as that, but like a label that's not the real thing is what I'm trying to say. And in this one I got 2. It's Pro Rally. I love racing games. This actually only came out on the GameCube, as you can see up in the upper left hand corner of the game, and so I want to give this a try. I heard it's like a decent GameCube racing game, so we'll give that one a shot. This one I think came out from Retro Dealio as well, and this is Real Heroes Firefighter. I did like playing the Fireman game for the Super Nintendo, so I've been more interested in Fireman games recently, so I got the Roscoe McQueen game for PS1, and now I have this one. There's another one I'm looking for PS2. I think it's like FD Firefighter 18 or something along those lines, so I'm looking for that too. This one I got from Second Chance. This was actually a really good find, and this is the Dragon's Lair Trilogy. I've really been interested in playing these. I heard when they came out in the arcade, like the graphics at the time were super better than anything you could play at home. So this has Dragon's Lair, Space Ace, and Dragon's Lair 2 Time Warp. Basically, it's a bunch of quick time event games that are the things you perform for your adventure. I was thinking about getting this for the Switch, but it was made by Limited Run, and because of that, the prices of those are like $50-$60. And I looked to see too, was the Wii is the Wii version any different than the Switch version? And from what I could tell, it's the exact same 3 games that are ported to the Switch. There's nothing that's been changed. There's nothing that's been like added that is not on this disc. So I figured this was the way to go. And this is still kind of expensive to buy. It's like $40 it'll run you if you can find it complete, which I was able to. And then a couple of Wii U games. One came here from Second Chance, and that is Mario Kart 8. I know that you can play this on the Switch now, but I do want to also play it on the Wii U. I enjoy the heck out of Mario Kart, so I'd enjoy playing it on either. And then this one was a great one to find from Disc Traders, and this is the Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD Edition, and it does have the reflective cover with it. That's the only way I would have gotten this. I don't want to get the one that does not have the reflective cover with it, so I want to make sure it has that good case. I know there's other variants. There's Nintendo Select variants as well, but I want to make sure that I could get it with that reflective cover, and that's why I ended up picking it up. And the heck, I enjoy the Legend of Zelda games very much. All right, couple of PS4 games here. I got NHL 19. I finally was able to find this for the PS4. I kept finding it for Xbox One, but I love playing sports games on PlayStation systems. That's the way I've pretty much played sports games. I played, some, when I was younger on like Nintendo and Super Nintendo and N64. But when the PlayStation hit, it was like I wanted college football. And then after that, it was like that's where I played my sports games, was on the PlayStation consoles, like 1 up through what I have for PlayStation 4. So I wanted to make sure I get it for that. I don't know why it was so hard to find and why I could find the Xbox One version, but I finally was able to glad to snag that. And then I also was able grabbed that came from Second Chance. This I think came from one of the online stores I ordered, and it's Lego Star Wars: The Force Awakens. This might have came from Double Jump, but I'm not 100% sure about that. But I love the Lego games and Star Wars as well, so this is a great fit. All right, Xbox games are next, and Xbox 360. Nothing too fantastic here, although there's one game that's a good one in here to find. And first off, NFL Fever 2002. As you could guess, a sports game I played as a kid. Actually, it was one of the first games I got for the original Xbox as well. Project Gotham Racer 2. I'm actually Racing 2, sorry. Still looking for the first one. It's not a hard game to find. It's like a $3 to $5 game, so I know I can find this online or in stores very easily. And like I said, I've been more into racing games recently, so I've been getting a lot of the racing games. All right, so I rebought Halo Combat Evolved, and if you noticed, this one does not say Game of the Year on it. I've been more recently trying to get the games that kind of just came when they came out originally, what their case looked like. So nothing like a greatest hits version, no platinum hits, no Nintendo Selects, any of that. So this one would have Game of the Year posted on it. And I think I found it one time at another gaming store, but it did not have the instruction manual. And I'm trying my hardest to get games complete now instead of having to, go back and complete them as you noticed with some of my games that I bought in the past. And that's why I'm showing you those manuals. So this one, complete, not a Game of the Year edition. So it's just the Game of the Year and this one are the same thing, but it doesn't say that on the cover. And as you can see, too, it actually said only for Xbox on it. So I think this was released before it was released on PC. So there's also that difference as well. This was the greatest out of the Xbox games we found. And unfortunately, this one did not have a manual, and I did know that when I purchased it. That's Jaws Unleashed. So, as you know, they just released, well, not just released, but I think it was last year or the year before that they released Maneater. I'm also looking to get that game, although that's on PS5 now, so I'm going to be waiting a little bit. I'm trying to get games too, if they port it to another system, get the version that's on a later system too, instead of getting the Xbox One or PS4 and then get it on PS5. So this one you go around as Jaws and you're eating other animals and people. So I will be looking for a manual for this. I tried looking for one online. I could not find one on eBay at all. So I'm hoping that'll pop up at some point. And then these two games, I think either came from Retro Dealio or I got them from the store in Canada, or maybe one each. Actually, one game here did come from Canada, and I can see that by just looking at it on the cover. I think this one came from Retro Dealio, and this is Project Gotham Racing 3. And I could have got actually a brand new copy of this game at Disc Traders for only like, I don't know, less than $10, like sealed and everything, but I'm not a sealed collector, and basically a used copy goes for a couple dollars less. I bought that. The reason why I could tell this comes from Canada is because it says only on Xbox, and you can see it has it in French on there as well. So this is Project Gotham Racing 4. Okay, moving on now. I think I'm going to go PS3 next. We'll have PS2, and then original NES will be the last ones. So there are a couple of rare sports titles in here I did end up finding, and I got pretty lucky to find them both in the same month, I would say. So first off, we got NCAA March Madness 08. This one actually I didn't play as a kid, but I played, when it was out, and I did enjoy it, but I sold it off for like a newer version. But I think I'm trying to play more of the older sports games now. NBA Jam, that one I think I had on Wii, but I just didn't like doing this all the time, shooting baskets, so I figured play that on a regular controller. And a couple of Lego games. I got Lego Harry Potter, years 1 through 4 and 5 through 7. Found those both at Second Chance. NBA Jam also came from Second Chance as well. This one I also found at Second Chance, and actually I was really surprised. They did not have, they have the games displayed on wire racks, and usually when there's an overflow of games, they turn all the games on the side like this. So they have the ones that are prominently displayed, and then most of them that are on the side are sports ones. But there are some rare sports games out there, and this one they had displayed sideways, which I think is the reason why this game ended up getting overlooked by people. That's NCAA College Hoops 2K8. This was the last year that 2K released a college hoops game. This game can go anywhere between about $60 and $80. It was a little higher, but I did get it around, I think it was around 60. So it was a little higher in 2020. It has come down more recently. But yeah, this was the last one released for that year. Or this was the last one released for that developer, I should say, 2K Sports. And I do love the 2K games, especially 2K5. So I was really happy to get this. Did not come with a manual, so I did have to go online and get that. So it definitely did contribute to a little bit higher price. And then this one I found at Disc Traders in Battle Creek, and they had 2 copies of this game. And I'm just surprised I was able to get one. It was $100. I got it, and thankfully I had store credit to cover the cost of this. That is NCAA Football 14, also the last NCAA game released by EA Sports. They have not released it since because of if you know the Ed O'Bannon case where players were he was complaining because his likeness was used in the game, and there was no names for players, but he didn't get any monetary benefit from it whatsoever. So that once that was ruled in his favor, they couldn't make these games anymore without giving some type of monetary paying basically the players, I should say. So they haven't made NCAA games since. There keeps being rumors that they're going to come back. I'm hoping they do. That would definitely knock the price of this game down, but 14 is expensive. 13 goes for about $30, and then NCAA 12 would run you about 10. Anything after that's pretty cheap unless you get NCAA Football 11 on PS2, which goes for about 45, but that's because it's the last one that was released on PS2. Really happy to get this. Recently, according to the Game Eye app that I use to track my games, this game has gone up in price again. It's $130 now. So if you can find it, make sure, for a good price, get your hands on it. It's not just because it's the last NCAA game that was released by EA Sports. It is a very, very good football game. I would definitely say some of the PS2 games can rival it based on gameplay quality, But just the presentation of the game, I think, makes it worth it. They do updates for. There are people out there. There's a community of people that update this game and have updated it actually where the graphics at the bottom resemble basically what's on ESPN now for like the scroll for the score at the bottom. And I think they've even updated it where the college football playoff is included in the game. So mods have done a great job keeping that game up to date. All right, now we're going to move on to this big stack of PS2 games. And I would say half of these are definitely sports games. There's nothing, rare in this stack whatsoever or spectacular. But there are some good games in here. So, like I said, any of the sports games that are going to come up are unless I talk about them, are going to be ones that, I had as a kid and really enjoyed. NCAA Football 2002. This was actually the first NCAA game I got that I got for the system. This one I didn't have, but it's like it's a really good NHL game from what I hear. NHL 2002, and I'll be the judge of that because I really love 04. I heard this is a really good Tiger Woods game. Did not have this one as a kid, and that's 2003. For some reason, I pretty much skipped 2003 getting sports games, and I don't know why, because NCAA Football 2003 I heard was really good as well. The one I did have was NHL 2003. It's not that great. The announcers in it are a little goofy. Madden 2003. And then this one I didn't have, but it's one of the best baseball games that there is out there, and that's World Series Baseball 2K3. And nowadays, a lot of people are, there's some people out there on YouTube that are, turning back to older sports games just because of the fact they're more in depth and, much better, some of them are better presentation-wise than some of the newer games. Like, the new Maddens are pretty much bare bone, and there's glitches and bugs, and they're not great anymore, but the older sports games are, and they kind of hold up. NHL 2K3, also I heard this is a really good hockey game. NASCAR Heat 2002, this was actually one of the first original Xbox games I owned as well, along with NFL Fever 2002, but you heard about me playing sports games. I like them on the PlayStation, although NFL Fever I can't do anything about. That was actually exclusive to Xbox. Love the game show games, I talked about that. Got Wheel of Fortune. All right, a few racing games here. We got World Rally Championship, Tokyo Drift Extreme Racer 2, Test Drive, DT Carnage. I think that has the manual in it. Yeah, it just felt like it was really light. This is one of my favorite games I got on Dreamcast, and I figured, what the heck? We'll get it for PS2 because I enjoyed it so much. Crazy Taxi. This one was actually a really good find that I got from Treasure Quest. This game I got for $5, and this game now almost runs around 20. And that is Automodelista for the PS2. This game has gone up in price, especially on the Gamecube. It is super, now, well, I shouldn't say super, well, I guess I could say super expensive nowadays. But everything's kind of been shooting up on Gamecube. But I've heard this is a really good racing game, and I don't know why, I didn't really hear about it until recently. All right, so I got the Getaway as well. Now we're kind of into a couple of shooters here. Grand Theft Auto Vice City. 007 Nightfire. I think there's still one more 007 game I need to get, and that's I think it's Everything or Nothing. I think this one did have a greatest hits version, and that's why I sold it, and now I got the black label version. Whoops. This one I had on N64, but I didn't really enjoy it on there, so we'll see if I enjoy it on PS2, and that's Winback Covert Ops. I had the second version. I had the second game as well, so I have the sequel. All right, a couple of Burnout games I got. Burnout Dominator, and then Burnout Revenge. I also like playing my racing games on PS2, so I had most of the Burnout series for the original Xbox, and I decided to change that up a little bit and get them on the PS2. And the last three here are some decent games, I would definitely say. Besides the Burnout games, those are pretty decent too. But Ratchet & Clank Up Your Arsenal. I think this was also one that was a greatest hits game, if I'm not mistaken. Otherwise, I sold it for some other reason. I don't know why. And these ones were also greatest hits versions, and now I got them because of the fact these are not. And that's Jak 2 and Jak 3. So I'm still looking for Jak, the Precursor Legacy, and then there's Jak and Daxter, like the Lost Frontier, which that one I can never really find on PS2. That one goes for around $20. That one's a little harder to find. All right, so now I'm going to talk about NES games, and I did get a couple of boxes for a couple of games. These just came box only. These did not come with anything else, so I still got to get, I think I've still got to get the plastic, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, plastic sleeve cover, and I got to find a piece of styrofoam too that goes in it. These boxes were in decent shape. So I got Bugs Bunny, Crazy Castle. I did have the manuals for these games as well, so I did not have to order manuals. It's pushed in a little bit on the front up here. And there's a little creasing here in the back corner. Otherwise, this thing is in good shape. There's a little bit of creasing on the side too, so it's not beat up too bad. I did recently play this game and beat it. It was a lot of fun. And then I got Paperboy. I suck at this game so bad. It's funny because I just read a list of like NES games that were ranked like top 15 hard NES games. The original Mega Man was number 3 on the list, and I have to say I don't know why that one's way up because I can't even beat Paperboy, and that was lower on the list. This box was in really good shape all over the place. You can see top, front. There was only one issue with it, and there was a little tearing right there on the side. Usually I don't get the boxes if they have slight tears in it, but I decided that one's okay, and I can deal with that. If it was like a tear on the front or a tear over the words, I definitely would have passed on it. But those two I got off of eBay. And lastly, I got a good stack of NES games this month. First game, this came from SideQuest Games. This was the only game I ordered from there this month, and that is Dig Dug 2, Trouble in Paradise. I love the first Dig Dug game. This is slightly different. You're playing from a not a top-down view, I should say, but one of those, maybe an isometric perspective is what you would call it. And you're trying to go down, and you got the little creatures chasing you on islands, and you're trying to make it where the island kind of disappears, and you get rid of the creatures, and they go off into the water then. And also, this one, I think this one came from Gamers Alley, and that is The Little Mermaid. And Kathleen, my wife, really would like to play this one, so that's why I got it. I played it. I enjoyed it. It's not one of my, like, doesn't stand out as much as, like, DuckTales does or any other Capcom games. So I made sure, so I grabbed it for her, and I'm going to probably play it again as well. Also, Battleship. I've been looking for Battleship for a while. It's like the board game, obviously. There's nothing really different in here. I think this one also came from Gamers Alley. I made 2 orders from Gamers Alley. I think this one also came from it as well. And all these NES games, they were in great shape when I got them. I think Dig Dug 2 I changed the back out on, but most of these other ones were in great shape. Life Force, one of my favorite shooters for the system. I don't enjoy shooters too much in particular. I'm not great at it at all. In fact, if I were to play this one without the Konami code, there's no way I get past level 2. I can beat level 1 just fine, but I cannot beat level 2. I suck at the game, but still enjoy it. But I don't really enjoy shooters really past the Super Nintendo, just because I'm not great at them. There's only a few that I like, and I think that one is because I played it as a kid. So this next one is Rampage, and this one also came from Gamers Alley. And I like Rampage games. They do get repetitive. This one, unfortunately, has no password code, no save feature on it, and it is a really long game. This one I'm definitely not getting to try to beat it all. I am just getting this to play it as far as I can, enjoying it, and then just putting it down. Because that game, it just is unfortunate. It doesn't have any of those features. And to me, it's a good game, but it's definitely not the greatest Rampage game that's out there. Okay, so this one, next one, wasn't one I had as a kid at all. But one that looked rather enjoyable from watching people review it, from seeing screenshots of it. and that is Mappy Land. You're a mouse in the game. You go through different levels. It's a platformer. This one also came from Gamers Alley. I don't know too much more about the game, but I mean, just look at that. Doesn't that look like a game you would want to play? All right, so this was the game that's the alternative to Breakout on the NES because, like I said, I'm not going to, pay $80 for a controller for one game. And that is Thunder and Lightning. It's a Breakout game that involves, other characters. So this one you don't use the controller for, you just use your controller pad. So I'm looking forward to playing that. That game, if you're looking to play a game like that, this game will run you about 10 to 15 bucks. That one I actually got from Second Chance, and a lot of their NES games, like the ones that are kind of stand out more, they kind of lay out in the case instead of having them where you just read the spines of the games. So that one was one that was laying out. All right, this one I think came from, is it J&J Games or JJ Games? And this was Donkey Kong 3. I put it away already, but they sent the manual with this as well, so I was not expecting that because it was game only when I ordered it. And it's actually the 5-screw version as well, if you're just curious. I don't really care if it's 3 or 5-screw. That does not matter to me whatsoever. I know 5-screw ones can go for a little bit more. But Donkey Kong 3 is definitely different than Donkey Kong Jr. and Donkey Kong the first one, which is why I sold it off originally. But then I was like, you know what? I love the Donkey Kong games. There was nothing wrong with it, so I got it again. All right, so I got another copy of Bobble. You may have seen me in my one of my more recent pickups video talk about this one. There was a slight stain that was up on the label up here, which is the reason why I ended up getting another version of the game. This one is completely clean. Got another copy of Tiny Toons 2, Trouble in Wacky Land. This came from Minnesota. Heroics Goods and Games is where this one came from. And this one had some yellowing on the cartridge on the front, which is why I ended up getting another copy. This was completely clean. This one came from a store, I think it was in Alabama. I can't remember the name of the store. This was the only game I bought from there. And Second Chance had a copy of this game, but the label was damaged, so I figured I'm not going to pick it up then. This is a completely clean copy, and I'm looking definitely to get more of these games that feature these characters, and that's Flintstones: The Rescue of Dino and Hoppy. This is not the expensive one. This game was like $20. This is not Flintstones: Rescue at Dinosaur Peak. Definitely looking for more Flintstones games out there. I'm not trying to get Dinosaur Peak right now, definitely. This one I got from Double Jump Games as well. This is basically the sequel to Bubble Bobble, but they don't really advertise it really that it's the sequel to the game. There's Bubble Bobble Part 2 on the NES, but this is actually, I think, really the sequel from what I've heard a lot of people say. That's Rainbow Islands. This is not a easy game to find either, in my opinion. So this is runs you about $30 if you're gonna get it. It's, from what I've seen, it looks like a really, really fun platforming game. I like Bubble Bobble. I am not great at it, so I'm not looking to get the second one or most of the series really. If I enjoy a game, I'll maybe play one game in the series. It's like Castlevania. I'm not great at it. I've beat it. It's fun, but I'm not really interested in the rest of the Castlevania games. I'm probably weird as a gamer. You can say I'm weird for that, but whatever. I don't have all the time in the world to play every single game out there that exists, or every single game in a series. So I pick out the ones that, I think I would definitely enjoy and play those. And the last game I got here, thinking this came from Gamers Alley as well. It's so hard with, you've seen everything. This is the last game that I have. This was probably the best, or maybe not the best, but the rarest or hardest to find out of all of these NES games that I've shown off. And that is North and South. Not North, I was going to say North versus South, but North and South. So this is kind of like a strategic Civil War game is what it is. And I think there's you position your troops, and then I think they go to screens where you do little battles as well. I've heard this game is really good. I like those kind of games. I want to give this a try and see how it is. So there it is. I think this was a great haul of games this month, although in my opinion, probably spent a little too much on all of this. Some of it was definitely used, store credit for, but a lot of this, came from online stores as well. Now that I've found those online stores, man, as you can see, I got quite a bit. Although, to tell you the truth, I still love finding the games in person, versus online stores. Although some of the games you just can't find, like this one. Can't find this one in person, but I can find this one online. So that was good. All right, so that'll do it for my pickups video for the month of January. So comment below what you thought of my pickups video, and tell me what you've been playing and looking for as well. Post anything in the comment section below. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Those links are also going to be in the comment section below. I don't really, unfortunately, do a whole lot with Twitter and Instagram at the moment, since I'm not really one to get on social media a whole lot. I'll post a few pictures here and there, but I've been trying to stay away from social media just because of the fact it's been really toxic recently. So I've been trying to avoid that, but once in a while I will get on there and post something. So you can follow me at those links if you'd like. Drop a thumbs up in this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't. I do these pickup videos once a month. I probably could have split this up actually into 2 this month, but I figured what the heck, we'll do it all at once. We'll make it a nice long video. I'm trying to think of some other, video game videos to do, but there's just a lot, going on. I'm pretty busy. I'm not trying to make excuses why I'm not doing any other videos, but there's a lot of stuff like coming up over the spring and summertime here I'm trying to get ready for. And so, yeah, so at least these pickup videos, you'll be seeing these, once a month. So this is Michael out and over now. Mikey's True, you guys are the best. Take care.